Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Top 5 series. I'm Luminous from DotaComTears.com, and today my special co-host is Purge Gamers from PurgeGamers.com.
Hey guys,
and
I'm right here.
We have an exciting Top 5 for you guys.
Yes, it should be really awesome. What we're going to go over is the most cost-efficient items under 3,000 gold. And the main thing that you guys have to look at when we say cost-efficient is we all know that the best items in the game are Butterfly, Monkey King Bar, Heart, stuff like that. But we want to look at cost-efficient, which means how much payout does it give per gold. And It's kind of hard to analyze, but we'll go over a lot of that stuff while we go over each specific item.
Yeah, we have actually a couple honorary mentions. These items are really good, but not exactly top 5. And we kind of want to get them out of the way. The item that I personally really like is Vlad's. Not something you get right in the beginning, so we do see Anti-Mage, Phantom Assassins get it in the beginning, but it's really good as a late game items because they give you so much. Lifesteal for melee, plus damage. The Ring of Assist actually is very good as well, so I personally like that a lot.
Yeah, the main thing you have to look at is the fact that it's AoE. It doesn't just give you 10 damage and 16% lifesteal, it does it for 5 heroes. So this essentially multiplies the item's cost-benefit analysis by 5, because all of a sudden it's 2,000 gold spread across 5 heroes, which is one of the reasons why it's so good. That's Vlad's. We can go over the next item. The other honorary mention is Earn, an item that I really wanted to put in the top 5 list, but we just couldn't quite squeeze it out. It was close, but no cigar. Costs about 1,000 gold. It gives you as much HP as a Bracer. Gives you pretty decent mana regen, but most importantly, every time a hero dies on the enemy team, you get at least either a 400 HP heal, assuming it's not disabled, or you get 150 damage attack nuke, which can be used for a lot of different things. Most importantly, it does work against TA shield, by the way. I saw this happen in a pro game. It's not currently behaving as intended, but there's a lot of good reasons for Earn.
Hopefully it's fixed.
To have.
It will be fixed.
Very good at pushing. I mean, if you push, all of a sudden, oh, somebody took too much damage, 400 HP heal, and then you continue pushing. It's very good for stuff.
I think the key thing is it's good for everything. You want as a nuke, it does that for you. You want as a heal, it does that for you. It's easy to build up, even for Crystal Maiden and Vengeful Spirits. It gives you HP, it gives you mana regeneration, kind of everything of what you need, and it's cheap. So yeah, it's actually really good, cost efficient. But again, not good enough for a top 5 list. And let's actually get into the top 5 list. At number 5, we have Django of Endurance, or Drum of Endurance, as it's called in Dota 2. What's your take on this one?
Drum is the most the most cost-efficient stat item in the entire game. If you look at a Ultimate Orb, you've mentioned before that it's technically a very inefficient item, but Drum of Endurance gives you 9 to all stats for just 1,725 gold. And Ultimate Orb is 2,100 gold, gives you 10 stats. And that's not all the Drum gives you. It gives you 5% movement and attack speed, base. It also gives you plus 9 damage. This is on top of everything. And you can use those charges to increase your team's movement and attack speed. Yep. And once again, that aura applies to everybody on your team, as does the active. So that makes it even more effective. Yeah,
common theme, like you mentioned earlier, Vlad's applied to team. Drum's applying to team here again. Although it's not the most cost-efficient stats item in the game. We'll get into that one. True. Yeah, we'll get into that one in a bit. It is somewhere on the top 5 list. But yeah, like you mentioned, it gives the aura for the team. But you personally, when we're kind of having a back and forth chat about this, you actually like this item a lot more for the stats, right? I personally love it for the 15% boost when you use it for the movement speed and the attack speed. But you're saying that you get it for the Bracer, you get it for the Robe of Magi.
Yeah, I think it has such an easy build-up. It has that Bracer into the Robe of the Magi recipe, gives you the plus 9 stats. I personally favor it a lot for the stats. If you use it well in team fights, you always use the active during team fights. It is very beneficial because 10% movement speed is around 30 movement speed for everybody on your team, depending on where their base is. So
it's a face boost for everybody.
Yeah,
essentially. Yeah. So you like it for the stats. I like it for the aura. It does both. It's great
good for both.
It's great. Yeah, it's 1,750 gold, like you mentioned. It's cheap. And a whole bunch of heroes. You could even have 2 of them in the team. I mean, if pro players are getting 2 in a team, kind of see why it's really, really good.
Yeah. That's
number 5. And number 4 is Mekansm, however you say that word.
Mekansm is what I'm sticking to forever and for always. The reason Mech is such a great item, first of all, it's very inexpensive. It's only 2,300 gold, and the build-up is perfectly easy. The cheapest parts are essentially 600 and 800 gold. That's usually how I look for it, but you can always buy the chainmail early or the Ring of Regen. And as it finally builds into completion, all of a sudden you get a 250 HP heal for everybody on your team. And if you look at the cost of 250 HP, that's a vitality booster. So that's 1,100 gold in an AoE in a team fight if you're 5v5ing.
Right.
So by using a mech on your whole team, you're essentially giving everybody a free vitality booster. And that's not even covering the armor bonus that it gives you, as well as the regen over time.
That's absolutely insane. A lot of times we see pro players have the option to rush for early game items. I'm thinking Enigma here, who has the option to rush for a Blink Dagger, rush for a mech. A lot of times we see the mech rush because it's giving essentially a Vit booster for the entire team. The plus armors never becomes irrelevant, even in late game situation. Plus 5 armor is always really, really good. It comes in an AoE. Again, similar theme to Vlad's and Drums. If it's good for a single player, it's good for everybody else. So it's really, really cost effective. Yeah, and the build-up is really nice, right, too, right? The Ring of Regens is always nice. The Chainmail is always nice. Not bad of an item.
Ironwood branches? I heard they're pretty good.
I heard they're pretty good as well. Again, continuing foreshadowing for that one. Also, I actually sat down to do a Mathcraft once. If you have a Vanguard compared to a mech, if you actually get the chance to use a mech, the mech is flat out better than a Vanguard as a survivability item. And that's for yourself. You're not counting everybody else's benefits as well. So more reasons to get that mech if you can afford the mana and the gold. In any case, the next item on the list is going to be the Armlet of Mergidian. I just say Armlet because it's just...
I'd say Armlet.
Yeah, Armlet. Yeah.
Armlet's a really cost-efficient item. I personally didn't want to put this on the top 5 list because I was like, it's not that good. But when we looked at the math, it was just...
It was insane.
Something that we had to. It was with plus 65 damage for Strength Hero for 2,700 gold. Correct?
I think we're like... It's plus 60 for 2,600. The number's in the similar ballpark.
It's really close to that. I had it written down somewhere. We did the math on it. But if you look at a Sacred Relic, that's 3,800 gold for 60 damage. Armlet gives more than that. Plus, Armlet gives armor. It also gives attack speed. You do have to, of course, worry about eventually killing you. But if you're talking about just going for damage, it is extremely cost efficient. It's been buffed time and time again. It just recently got a 200 gold decrease for the recipe. I believe it used to be 900 for the recipe. Now it's only 700. So it does see play by some heroes.
It's core. It's core in certain heroes. And to be honest, even if you're not Strength Hero, the benefit it gives you is sizable enough that you might even want to consider it. But for Strength Heroes, it's kind of the best in business. Yeah, sure, there's like that minus 27, whatever HP amount of per second, but you never really worry about it too much, especially when you just want the burst damage. And hey, how many times have we seen Armlet in World Dota, right? It just does so much. Like Purge was mentioning, plus attack speed, plus armor, plus raw amount of HP, plus damage. For 2,600 gold, it's like a bargain. And me being Chinese, I know what a bargain is all about. So trust me on this one. Mathematically, it's superb for damage and everything else for 2,600 gold.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yep. That's number 3. Number 2, it doesn't give you a lot of plus damage. It doesn't give you AoE-ness, but it's just so good as an item. And number 2 is Force Staff. For 2,200 gold, it's a magical item.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. We kind of talked about the best way to describe why it's so good, and obviously you guys know it gets you away from abilities and things like that, but the primary reason is that you have to look at it as a item counter.
Yeah.
And what does it allow you to do? First of all, if an opponent jumps you, let's talk about like a Lifestealer, for example. He uses open wounds on one of your heroes are not going to move for a very long time. If anybody on your team has a Force Staff, the support here gets away, or at least can move 600 units away from the Lifestealer. It renders him completely useless. And what would you normally have to do to stop a Lifestealer? You'd have to do lots of HP, you'd have to do a Yule Scepter, you'd have to do a Ghost Scepter. And those are great items, but they only work on the hero that's holding them. Yule's maybe would work on an ally as well.
Right.
But if you just get one Force Staff, you can use that on any person on your team. You can use it to initiate, you can use it to run away. And the stats that it gives you aren't that bad either. I mean, really, you're only spending 300 on the recipe. So you're mostly getting the int and the damage and that sick attack speed. So
if you could get the push ability just for 300 gold, it would be broken.
Oh my god.
The plus 10 damage, plus 10 attack speed, that's not bad. Plus 10 is great as well, but the push is really what we're pushing for. I did not even plan that. I mean, Force Staff is one of those items that also gets a lot better the more you have it for the team, right? If you have 5 Force Staff in team, in theory, you're not getting anybody killed. Like, really, it's a push party all around. It's fun. I think the item I compared it to myself was the Blink Dagger. And, I mean, Blink Dagger is a little bit more versatile, especially when you're initiating. But in terms of reliability and the fact that you could use it for your teammates, Force Staff is by far a lot better. They even nerfed it in a couple fringe scenario, right? Against Chronosphere, it no longer works. Against Black Hole, it no longer works as intended. You can't push your teammates out, but still, it just gets you over a cliff. Messes like, hey, your enemy Beastmaster roars your teammates, you push them out. It's just so good. I can't see it. I was saying it's number 1, but we forgot about the ultimate #1 item of all time, which is a magic wand. And the reason that we say magic wand over the magic stick is because it does actually contain the most efficient stats of item of all time, which is the GG branch.
Yeah, the reason Ironwood branches are so good is because they're expensive on item slots, but they're very cost efficient in terms of what it gives you. You get 53 gold for 3 stats, which runs out to be like 19 gold per stat, something like that. Is that correct? Something around there.
Which is insanely cheap. Insanely cheap. If you compare it to Ultimate Orb, which is the worst of the spectrum, it's 2100 for 10 stats, right? Or 30 stats.
For 30 stats. Right. Yeah. So it's 190 divided by 3 is how many gold it is per stat. Whatever that is.
A lot worse than GG
like
branch.
60. It's like 60 gold per
stat. Yeah, a lot worse than GG branch.
Yeah, and also, it only takes 1 item slot. We compared it to a Bracer. A Bracer is 525 gold. That gives you 6 strength, which is 114 HP. The wand only gives you 57 strength. But that means that you only need
57 strength will be insane.
Sorry. 57 HP. Bracer gives 114 HP. So that means for a wand, you only need 3.8 charges before a wand gives you more HP than a Bracer. It costs less.
We went deep on the math. We really went deep on the math. But 3.8 charges, let's say 4 charges. You're going to get 4 charges every fight. You're going to activate that wand. And when you do activate the wand, it's better than a Bracer. And as that comparison,
not to mention the mana.
Yeah, the mana that gives you, which is insane for a couple of low intelligence heroes like Sven, whatever else you're imagining. It's absolutely insane. Of course, you could actually use a couple of wand charges or wand usage in a single fight if it lasts long enough. How many times have it saved you when you're running away with low amount of HP? You could use it as... Remember the old magic stick where people are casting within the shadow? And you saw accrue wand charges? Yeah. That was insanely...
You're like, oh, somebody's obviously close to me.
Yeah, someone's ganking me with, I don't know, Wind Run or whatever. It's insane. I don't even know what else we need to say about it. Mathematically, it's really, really good. It's a good item that probably gets you to 45 minutes of the game, right? Sometimes even late game situation, when you're picking up that Aegis of Immortal, you're pretty sad to part with that magic wand because it served you so well. Long. It's done a lot for you. And any wax poetic you want to sing about this item? Because
the last thing I just want to look at is wand goes up to 15 charges. That's 225 HP and 225 mana.
Right.
If you're able to use the wand, if you're not chain stunned, that's almost a vitality booster once again.
Yep.
And that's on a solo hero. And then you might even be able to use it a second time later on the team fight if you're really tanky. Tanky heroes can possibly use it twice. Use it right when you lose the first 225 HP, and then use it again as you're at somewhere in the middle of the team fight. So it's ridiculously good.
It's really good. It's only for what, 500 gold. Do you stock up at home when you're buying Magic one?
I mean, I have a couple. I have some stock in Magic ones, but it's hopefully gonna keep me into retirement a little earlier.
It's in your closet. They don't go down value. They go up in over time. But in any case, I hope you guys enjoyed this top 5 list. Let us know what top 5 topics you want to see. Of course, Purge Gamer's channel. You should know him by now. If you don't, it's gonna be in the description box. And that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this. And until next time, for Purge Gamer, I'm Luminous. We are signing off. Thanks for watching, guys. GG.
Do you want me to turn on the light? Do you think I'm too dark?
No, you're good. You're great.
Alright.
Alright. 3, 2, 1. Happy.
Happy.
That we're not synced. Alright, one more time. 3, 2, 1. Happy.
Happy. Alright, that was synced that time.